Thank you for coming along to this BAFTA Game Showcase for Dishonored 2. These events are part of BAFTA's initiative to inspire and encourage those working in the UK games industry, or maybe those considering a career change into our glorious industry. It's also part of BAFTA's global strategy to encourage and showcase the best industry talent from all around the world. So, speaking of industry talent, joining me on stage this evening from Arkane Studios is Christophe and Sebastien Mitton. Welcome. Please, everyone.
Hello.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So if you'd like more information about BAFTA's initiatives, or perhaps you're interested in joining and becoming a BAFTA Games member, you can find out more information at membership.bafta.org. But on to today's talk. So back in 2012, Arkane Studios released Dishonored, and if you're like me, you played through that game multiple times. High chaos, low chaos, killing everything in your path. It also won the coveted BAFTA for Best Game in 2013. So I think that's a great place to kick off.
Hello, everybody. On behalf of Arkane, I'd like to thank you for being here tonight. This presentation is mainly a tour in the backstage of the art and also in the world. So that's why Christophe will jump in some slides, and we'll try to explain how the pressure was after BAFTA to create a new opus to this universe.
Yeah, being here for me is a bit special, because having a BAFTA for the best game is something important, and I mean, this day I will remember it all my life. But it's more about of course at the moment we win, we get a lot of love after that. I mean, everybody is, congratulating you and saying how great you are, and I mean, not me, but the team and everything. So you receive such an amount of love that it's great. I wish sometimes you experience that. But why I remember it, and it's moving for me to be here, is that during the entire night of the BAFTA, the awards. Journey got all the awards, like literally, and we were sitting next to their table, and we had glasses. They had awards, like it was crazy, and so at the beginning of the evening, we were like hoping to have an award. Like each time they were saying the names, we were like, no, oh, okay, so next time. When the sixth award was won by Journey, it was like, okay, we will never have anything tonight. So I was relaxing, drinking a little bit more than I should have, and joking with my friends, and then I swear to God, like the moment where they say, and the best game of the best game goes to. I was about to stand and raise my glass to the team that was here, and I was like this, and then I heard Dishonored, and it was like my reality twist, like did a 360, and I for 2 seconds I didn't know where I was. I wasn't prepared at all. I was like I was trying to. Repeat what I was going to say, and so to me it's a very, very strong emotion that I remember all my life. So yeah, that's the thing I wanted to say today. Thank you.
So let's talk about a little bit how you came up with a sequel for Dishonored. So Sebastien in your role as art director and Christophe in your role as level design director, both very big implications in how the way the game will look and feel and play.
Yeah. So as I explained to my team and to other team and to people in general, what I say in general is that the style of Dishonored, the look, is the result of a spirit, a philosophy, and a style, in fact, that results into a style. So I will cover this. And the starting point is the recruitment. I try to do it à la Ocean 11, so I drink a lot of coffee like George, and I try to hire the best talent in the world. It's regardless where they are or where they're from, that way my team is made of strong specialists. It's like in the movie industry, the guy who handled the lighting or the audio is not doing something else. So, and it's based on what I experienced in the past, like 17 years ago, where in general in games people were doing everything. You know, the level scripter was doing the art and the audio, and to me it was a wrong approach. Because we, as a AAA game, and even now after a BAFTA, you need like specialists for every part of the process. So here you see some example from you'll see some example from a few artists, and it's just the tip of the iceberg. So I cannot cover everyone. You know, we are 70 artists at the peak of the production. So Russia, Sergei Kolesov, to me is one of the best illustrators I've met in years. So it's not from the game, it's his personal work I show you today. It's what I've seen when I decided to contact him. And he moved in our studio like 3 or 4 years ago. He started on Dishonored 1, and then we kept him on board for Dishonored 2 because he was really good. This is the cover he did for the Game Informer. And in general, we don't aim to simply produce visual for our games. We create, we create art. And then after, we try to make it cool and fun, and that's what we'll cover with stuff after that. And this is what I've learned in a fine art school. So I try to bring back everything I've learned from school instead of what I experienced 17 years ago, where people were telling me what software do you use, and that was the meeting I had with to be hired in companies. When I hear that, I'm shocked. The software doesn't make the game look great, so we focused on fine art, and you'll see with this presentation.
Yeah, can I add something?
Yes.
Here? Basically, it's true. It's they are really creating art, and the artists that are doing, for example, some of the concept arts are real painters in real life. They live from it, and sometimes it's real paintings, like real ones, with real, you know what I mean. And most of the time during the production, I really feel bad because seeing all these nice concept arts and all these beautiful pictures, I feel like the guy who put a red nose on Mona Lisa, because it's fun. I'm gonna have fun with that, and I destroy their work. I'm poking holes into buildings. I'm adding vents everywhere and remove balconies. And they are like I'm ruining their heart most of the time. So. I want to apologize publicly. Because
you're fired.
That's really how I feel, and but that's also what makes the game fun, and I'm proud of that anyway. So yeah.
All right. So back to the specialist. To me, Sergei is a killer illustrator, but he's also really good at portraits, anatomy. Here it's another artist from Poland, Piotr Jablonski. I clicked when I saw his Tomcat Brother project. I contacted him by mail. He visited the studio and we made the deal. What I like with these artists, Sergei and every artist at Arkane, is that they are a little bit crazy. They have a message to convey. They have a strong personal identity, and you can feel it when they produce materials for the game. They bring something. It's not just they realize my vision. Sometimes when you have a vision, it's just a vision. It's not true. It's not real. There's no gameplay, no fun, no level design. It's just like I want to produce a new city, etc. And each time they bring something, and stones after stones, we create something all together, and that's cool.
So in creating your instead of Ocean's 11, I guess you had Ocean's 70 with all the artists that you managed to find. How did you uncover them? I mean, you can't just Google image search cool art. How did you find these artists?
Actually, yes, that's how it does.
There's going to be some SEO going on at the end.
No, it's like, yeah, so we have a bunch of artists that are seeking information, visual, gathering good reference for their own and for the game. And sometimes you see something like on Pinterest and you're like, whoa, this is really nice. And you try to contact this guy and maybe you'll make a deal with this guy. So that's how we approach. And some people know Dishonored. Before Dishonored, we were like just a small studio in France, working with Bethesda, but just ramping up on to the level where we are now. And now it's easier. People contact us, and we just have to look at through books and well. So we are in a different position now. That's true. So yes, so these are illustrations from Piotr, and as I said, it's not just like architecture drawing. Each time there's a small story. Here it's the guards patrolling, the civilians doing tags on walls, and it's really cool because people of my team, piece after piece, have a better vision of what. Here it's 3 years ago, so it's the first piece we see. Slowly coming to everyone at Arkane. I will explain this after that. And clay sculpture, so people wonder each time, what is it clay sculpture in video games? So again, it's my philosophy to bring what I've learned at school. And it's quite a new process in this industry, but I wanted to give it a try because to me, this is VR before VR. You can, turn around your model, and it's really, you have a different vision of what you produce when you do a 2D concept or paintings, and then 3D, but still it's on a screen. So if you have these steps between the 2D art and the 3D modeling, you then have some quite different approach. It's this size. So here you see Lucy Min doing the clay sculpture, and also we built a lineup of characters so that I can apply the same style. They are all unified. We take pictures, we send this picture to the artist. We have one 3D modeler working in New York, some in Poland, some in Romania, some in the studio. So if you want to stay to keep the unity on every characters, it's one good process to do that because they have the picture. And lots of art stuff are already solved. I won't go too deep into the art techniques, but yeah, this is the only way to me to have the good reaction of light, the good proportion, the anatomy I want, etc. How we manage the plane of a face. So that's a process inside the whole process, in between 2D and 3D modeling. And we had the chance to be displayed in a museum for 6 months in Paris, so that was quite cool because in my mind I do art, okay? I do art for games, but I do art. And it's like a circle. Your pre-production is invited in a museum. It's super like stunning to have this news falling in your mail. You're like, wow, during 6 months we'll have our piece displayed there. That's really nice. And here, for example, you can see the clay sculpture versus the 3D modeling of the same character. Okay, now we'll cover the reference. Do you want to talk, Toph? No? No? Okay. No, let me know.
Sure.
So, as I play to win, I said that excellent references are key to succeed. I repeat that from Dishonored 1. And that's what you said previously. The first page of Google Image is not allowed in our open space. Years after years, we've gathered a lot of really good reference of the master painters, of sculptors, photographers, even craftsman guys, who produce vehicles or objects. And that's what we analyze every day. And we train our eyes to this really fine art approach. So, for example, here, just one painting from this giant bank. I don't remember the painter, but here what we analyze on top of the composition is the costumes of people, the gestures from a time period, because our game is meant to to be in like 1850. It's not the real timeline, it's another one, another world, but the comparison could be 1850. So part of our reference comes from here, and here we analyze the skins, the position of people, their hands that tell a lot. Well, so that's the good reference we look at. Here it's for the more for the social aspect of how people interact together, and that's what we'll have in the game. By the way, when we set up our people in our missions, and for the style, the pulp illustrator are key also. Here it's Leyen Decker, who does some really small drawing, some small studies, and it's a kind of simplification of managing the folds, the weight of the cloth, the weight of the fabrics, the anatomy. We have some special website where here it's Sharpie, I guess, and you see a Longhorn, so it's in London here, before the bombing, so you have some interesting setup that you cannot see when you visit London because it's no more here. And sculpting too. And the special reference we have for Dishonored 2 is the realism. It's from the Russian painter. It's how to deliver a message through people. So the setup is really simple. It's just a crowd, but you have a lot of information that's where you can pick up some ideas that maybe later you will put into the game. And I'm really attached to people, so you'll see in the next slides, but that was a big inspiration for us. And this is the result of this. This is one of the first illustrations we did for Dishonored 2, so we had ideas of giant windmills because of the corridor, and we decided to paint the ceremony of the Duke, where you get some information. These civilians has been beat by a guard. You see the crowd which follow the Duke. You see the guy suffering under the Duke. I don't remember the name of these weird things. The inventor on his side. So it's lots of details just through a crowd.
So you can get a lot across in just one picture, and assume it was sent out to the whole team. I mean, how did it inspire everyone?
Well, this picture is, it reminds me. I mean, it is right. It's one of the first that we saw of Dishonored 2, and you have everything in this one almost. You have the guards, you have their look, you have the Duke, you have the city, the buildings, the windmill. I remember, and the oppression layer. You have everything, and from a level design perspective. What jumped in my eyes was this giant building. I don't remember how high is the floor. Like I remember it was 7 meters or something like that.
Yeah, 7.
So you can see that this building is huge, and you can see these giant windmills, which to me meant at the time, well, if the wind is creating electricity, then what about the whale energy? And to me it was like, if we don't have whale anymore, we won't have whale tanks anymore. And then it's, from a level design perspective, it was a bit worrying. But that was the first picture, and of course we discussed a lot, and I will talk about the windmill later. And if you look at the building, it's so high, and what we wanted to do is to enable the player to go up on the roof, because we thought it was fun to run on the roof and have things happening on the roof. But here it's so high. To me, it meant like if you have these kind of buildings, they have to be in the middle of the map, because if they are on the edge, then you can jump out of the map very easily. So that was another thing that I told the architects, don't put that kind of building on the edge of the map. And then you don't have windows, you don't have the facade is you have these large windows where you cannot enter through them at the moment. And I remember in one of the levels we had to put a small window inside a big window to enable the player to go to enter the building or exit the building. or you have to put vents everywhere, poles everywhere. I mean, again, it's like I'm destroying this magnificent screenshot. And then on the left you have on the left you have the city. And to me, when I saw that, it was okay. So the city is on a hill, is built on a hill. What it means in level design is that you have your locomotion is either from the bottom to the top or the top to the bottom. And in level design, going from the bottom to the top is very wrong. It's something that we try to avoid, because obviously tactically, and you have a disadvantage doing that. You can't see enemies that are on top of stairs. It's more difficult for the player. So I was a bit worried, but of course we had a lot of discussions, and we ended up with having platforms like this that were linked with cable cars and so on. So most of that didn't translate in the level, and that's something I can talk about. We can talk about later, but it was a thing we realized that if you look at the guard in front of the canopy, like the small one in front of the canopy here, this one, you'll see that his pants and his jacket matches the color of the walls. And we didn't notice that at first. It was after a lot of playtests that people told us, we don't see the guards. We cannot see them. I mean, they are blending, especially in the peripheral vision. So we had to find solution. And I talk to that later. Yeah, but this is moving for me, because this was the first time I saw what Karnaka was going to be. So it's an awesome picture.
I need a medal for being at Arkane.
Yeah.
So you give him this, and he's talking about wooden windows that eventually you can break. You don't see the
shutters,
don't see the
breakable windows and openable windows
and costumes. So yeah, it's cool to hear this, because this is how we work. So even if the art is super beautiful, each time it's analysis. The analysis from professional people from every department, and they say, okay, this is cool. Huh? You want to seduce me with your Duke, but look at this window, look at this costume, and is the lighting not too yellowish? So
actually, yeah,
everyone is giving advice, and you're like, wow, why would I pursue my work? But
yeah.
so
it's a
challenge each time. Yeah.
Maybe we can talk about. Maybe it's the right moment to talk about how we function as teams. Because when I say I destroy everything, I mean it's not me. I'm not running in the office and saying you do that, you do that. It's like we have a process that is, we put together one level designer and one level architect from the very beginning on each level. So the level architect is listening to Seb, and the level designer is listening to me, and Joachim, who is the level designer, and there is this gentle war between these two guys during the entire project, and so that's why I'm saying they're not doing the entire level and then we break everything. It's like we build the level together. It's more like this, and I think it's something that I've never seen that much in other companies, and I think that's what makes the art of Sebastien stands out, while the level design is also fun, because people are working together from the beginning. I think that's important to mention that. I have something to say about that. No?
Well,
No?
no.
Okay.